Hey friend, we're here live, Foster Talk with Dr. John. Hey friends, live here, Foster Talk with Dr. John on this Tuesday night, February 16th, 2021. I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, founder and director of the Foster Care Institute. So glad that you're spending this evening with us, this next 30 minutes. We do it every Tuesday and Thursday night, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, live right here, where we come together as foster parents, adoptive parents, kinship parents, parents, and we come together to provide help, to provide resources, to provide support, to answer the questions as you care for children in crisis in your own home. And I'm so glad that you are joining us here tonight. I want to say hello to Haley. I see Haley is here tonight. I see the Henrietta's here. Pete is here as well. Thank you so much for all for being with us. Again, I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, founder and director of the Foster Care Institute. And if you're new, welcome. If you've been with us for some time, we've been doing this since March of 2020 when COVID hit. If you've been with us before, welcome back. Hey, so we have three rules for you, okay? First of all, rule number one is this. Tag your friends. Let your friends know that you are here, because the truth is, well, for some people, it's hard to appreciate, but here's the truth. No one understands your lifestyle as a foster parent. No one gets your lifestyle to foster parent. And I say it, that is what it is. It's a lifestyle. No one understands the lifestyle that you lead, hey, Elena, as a foster parent, unless it's another foster parent, not your friends, not your family members, not those closest to you. Foster parenting is a very unique lifestyle. When you're caring for children in crisis in your own home, it can be tough. And sometimes the only people who really appreciate what you do are your fellow foster parents. So tag them, let them know that you're here so they can join us and get the help that they need. Rule number two, my favorite rule, get those fingers flying, won't you? Get those fingers flying just like this and ask anything you want. Foster care, adoption, kinship, parenting, whatever it might be. You want to hear about the newest foster care book I'm working on with superstar Jen Lilly, celebrity actors, I'll tell you about that. You want to hear about plans going back to Washington, D.C. You want to hear about my own experience as a foster parent to 60 plus children. Hey, we'll answer anything and everything here right here during the next 30 minutes. And finally, my favorite rule, and I know a lot of you will love this rule too. If somebody asks a question, if somebody makes a statement, you think, Dr. John, wait a minute, Dr. John, I think I can answer that question because I've been there myself. Well, we want to hear from you. We want to learn from you. I love traveling the nation and the world working with foster care agencies, child welfare programs, and foster parents, because when I get to meet with you, get to listen to you, how you handled it, hey, I'm learning as well from you. So we all want to be able to learn together this next 30 minutes. Hey, Dana, glad you're here this night. Stephanie's here. Welcome, Stephanie. See that you're here too. I see that Michael's here tonight, and I see that Yvonne is here. Caroline is here. And Diane is here. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Again, get those fingers flying. The next 30 minutes, we're answering your questions. The next 30 minutes right here during Foster Talk with Dr. John live. I want to make sure we can answer the questions, give you the help that you need. Elena reminds us the very important thing to document, document, document. Thank you, Elena. And in fact, that's probably the three most important words we can do as a foster parent is to document. And I so agree. Because, we document for a number of reasons. To protect ourselves from false accusations, to protect ourselves from false allegations, to make sure that we have the information on hand if anybody should ask for it, and other reasons as well. So I always tell foster parents that the three most important things you can do as a foster parent, kind of like real estate. You know, real estate, they say the three most important words for real estate are location, 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 right? Well, I think that foster parents, the three most important words are documentation, documentation, documentation. And maybe that's why every single month the most popular and most watched webinar here at the Foster Care Institute is that of documentation. All right, hopefully earlier today, you received an email the new Foster Care Institute newsletter, the one that goes out every Tuesday and Thursday night. I hope you got it. We have, hey, Hillary, glad you're here tonight, Hillary. We had the Foster Care News of the Week, and a lot of news this week. The Foster Care 101 video tip of the week, the Foster Care webinar of the week, the motivational moment, and we talked about how COVID has impacted foster care in so many ways in regards to mental health for the children, in regards to the caseworkers, talking about youth aging out, how that's back to them. If you don't get the newsletter for some reason, hey, I want to make sure that you get it tonight. So please type in I want newsletter and put your email address. I want newsletter and put your email address, and we'll make sure that you get that, okay? So just like this, I want newsletter and then your email address, all right? And we'll make sure that you get that newsletter later tonight, okay? So look for that later tonight. We do it every Tuesday. The newsletter comes out from the Foster Care Institute. Over 10,000 subscribers. And of course, every Friday we've got something a little bit different, something a little bit special. I call it the Friday Foster Care Video Tip of the Week and the Words of Inspiration. And again, I want to make sure you get that. You know, our brand new webinar here at the Foster Care Institute just came out talking about self-harm and self-injury. A lot of you have requested it. How many of you have ever had a child in your home who has tried to injure themselves in some way? If you have, that's the webinar that you need to watch. Okay, Jessica, welcome. Glad you're here. What exactly do we need to be documenting? Saving texts, emails, important papers, taking pictures, etc. Jessica, all that and a whole lot more. Great question, Jessica. Thank you so much for asking. Jessica, hopefully you have access to the Foster Care Institute online training webinars. We have over 60 hours of online training webinars, and we have a very important webinar about documentation right there. It tells you just not only what to document, but perhaps most importantly, how to document properly. Because Jessica, there's a right way to document, and there is a wrong way to document in regards to foster care. So you need to know how to document properly, what to document, you talked a little bit about there, and how to pass it on, okay? And of course, but yeah, you should be documenting everything that happens in your house as a foster parent, your time as a foster parent. Again, we go into great detail about that at the webinar, the Foster Care Institute. Jessica, my hope is this: you already have access, unlimited access, because when you're a member, Jessica, as you know, you get unlimited access for 12 months to over 60 hours of webinars, CEUs, printable certificates with your name on it, 11 free ebooks, and a whole lot more. So please check out that webinar documentation. It's going to answer all the questions that you need. I promise you. Appreciate you asking. Thank you for being here, Jessica. Thank you so much for being here. Leanne is here. Leanne, welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo. Leanne says this: we got 2 siblings from a different county. We found out last week they are moving them to another foster home, closer to where they can have more visits with their parents. We have had 3 months. How should we prepare them to adjust to a new foster home? Well, you know, that's a time of sadness to be sure, Leanne. Appreciate you asking. So you do it with, well, first of all, I want to know how old they are. So you have that conversation, an age-appropriate conversation, okay? Let them be truthful with them. Be truthful with them. Tell them that they're going to another foster home so they can be closer to their parents, so visitations can happen a little more regular, or a little more consistent, or a little more easier, if you will. Tell them how much you care about them. Tell them how much you've enjoyed being in their house. Tell them that you're always there for them, how much you love them. Tell them they're part of your family. Let them know they can call upon you anytime. Just, Leanne, if you know from my book, my best-selling book, Fostering Love, One Foster Parent's Journey, or my TED Talk, you know that many times we have an 8x10 picture framed of the children in our home, the part of our family, and the back of that with our phone number, names, addresses we give to those children when they leave our home. You can do that. Let them know they can contact you anytime. Help them pack. Maybe some pictures they may have your family. Maybe some postcards with your address already on it. Some things like that. Leanne, we have in the book, The Foster Parenting Manual, a whole chapter about when children leave. I think that's going to be a book, Leanne, that's going to be very of great interest to you. So there's a few tips right there, Leanne. I hope that was of help to you. Again, we talk about it more in the book, The Foster Parenting Manual, and I think you're going to find that book very helpful. Hey, this is Foster Talk with Dr. John. I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, founder and director of the Foster Care Institute, and we're here live, Foster Talk with Dr. John. We do it every Tuesday, every Thursday night, 7 to 7:30, right here live. Hey, as you know, a couple weeks ago, we had celebrity actress Jen Lilly. You know her from all those Hallmark movies, right? And the soap operas, if you watch soap operas. And she was a guest host here, right? Well, we have another guest host coming up soon, hopefully in a few weeks. I can't wait to tell you more about that, okay? So be on the lookout for that. I'll give you a hint. She was in foster care herself, and now she's a best-selling author. All right. I want to say hello to Lauren. Lauren, glad you're here with us tonight. Denise is here. Hey, Denise, glad you're here tonight as well. This is Foster Talk with Dr. John. Thank you. Leanne says, thank you. I will check it out. My pleasure, Leanne. And Leanne, I've got one copy left. One copy left of that book. So if you want to order it from the website, the Foster Care Institute, I'll send you a signed copy in the mail to you Thursday. I've got a whole bunch of books going out in the mail Thursday, and I will make sure I send it out to you Thursday in the mail, okay? And we have over lots of Foster Care Institute books, and I'd love to send you a copy there. All right, what are the questions you have? Get those fingers flying. Hello, Zanaya. Glad you're here, Zanaya. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've seen you there. Yeah, so I was talking earlier about our brand new webinar here at the Foster Care Institute. It premiered last week. It opened up last week. Self-injury and self-harm for children. Now, if you ever have a child in your home who has purposefully tried to hurt themselves in some way, then you need to make sure that you're documenting that immediately and how you document. And then this webinar goes into all the ways that you can help these children to best address it, those who are hurting themselves purposely. And we talk about the myths about self-harm and self-injury. We talk about the truths of self-harm and self-injury and how to best address it. That's our brand new webinar here at the Foster Care Institute. Last month, you know, was kinship. We did a couple new ones late last year, talking about a bedwetting was a new one. We talked about eating disorders was a new one. Oh goodness, we've had so many new ones the last 6 months. We're adding them every single month right now. New webinars right here at the Foster Care Institute, and hopefully you have access to them. Okay, what are the questions you want to learn tonight? We're here to help you. What do you need help with? What's the number one thing? The number one thing that you are struggling with as a foster parent, because here's the truth. This is the truth. It is hard being a foster parent. It is the hardest thing I have ever done. The most rewarding thing by far, the most rewarding thing I've ever done, but it is the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've had as many as 60 children come through my home as a foster parent. Have there been times where I felt like quitting? Yes. And I'm the guy who wrote all the books. Have there been times where I've thrown up my hands and thought and said, I can't do this anymore? Yes, absolutely. There have been times I have questioned the system. There have been times where I have been frustrated with how it works. Absolutely. Again, it's the most rewarding thing I've done, though. Cody's here. Cody, welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. Glad you're here with us tonight. We have a 2-year-old who's basically nonverbal and has several speech issues. He's been here 2 months. He's very aggressive towards himself and violent. He hits himself and tries to scratch his eye out, and he bangs his head and pinches himself as he tries to bite his thumb off. How can we calm him and reassure him to keep him from hurting himself? Cody, I hope you just heard it, because you're talking about the very thing that we just talked about here a few moments ago. Our brand new webinar, Cody, our brand new webinar at the Foster Care Institute is self-harm and self-injury. It premiered last Wednesday. We've already had over 1,000 people watch it. Cody, that's the webinar that you need to watch, because we talk about why he might be doing that. And then, Cody, we address a lot of things that help him from not doing that, not hurting himself. That's one webinar, Cody, I would encourage you to watch. Cody, I'd also encourage you to check out the webinar, Anxieties and Disorders for Children, and also check out the one, Positive Parenting Solutions. So there's 3 webinars, Cody, that I want you to watch in the next day or so, okay? And Cody, hopefully you know this, every webinar is only about 35-40 minutes, and you can print out a certificate for every single webinar and get a 1-hour credit for each one. So there's 3 hours credit right there you can get, okay? Check out Self-Harm and Self-Care for Children. Check out Anxieties and Disorders. You might also want to check out Anger Management. And finally, Positive Parenting Solutions. You can do all those webinars. Cody, my hope is this. You're already a member of the Foster Care Institute. If you're not, Cody, sign up. We have over 10,000 members. The price, you cannot beat the price, Cody. I promise you, you cannot beat the price. Unlimited access for 12 months to over 60 hours of webinars. Appreciate you asking. I'm looking for the webinar right now. Thank you. I'll be watching. Hey, appreciate it, Cody. Glad you're a member. So check that out. All right, Zanaya's here. Zanaya, welcome to the first night putting to bed with a sippy cup. How do I get her to sleep all night without it? My little is about 3. Well, we have a webinar on sleep disorders, but a sippy cup at 3 years of age, Zanaya, I don't think that's too much a problem myself. I think if a child says a sippy cup at 3 years of age, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. And And if this child is coming to your home from in place of foster care, that child has more issues to worry about than probably a sippy cup. So I think you're probably okay with that. Hey, if you agree with me or disagree with me, the rest of you watching tonight, let us know what you think. Or maybe you have some solutions for Zanaya on how she can help that child get rid of the sippy cup. But again, I'm thinking to myself, Zanaya, if this child's been placed in your home from foster care, this child suffered trauma, this child is experiencing a lot of anxiety, the sippy cup at age 3 is probably something that you don't need to be concerned about right now at this point. No, maybe, maybe a while down the road, you can focus on that. But right now, focus on her just getting that good night's sleep. And if that sippy cup helps her to get it at age 3, I think you're okay. I think you're going to be just fine. Really appreciate you asking, Zanaya. Thank you for being here so much at Foster Care Institute. Hey, this is Dr. John DeGarmo, foster care expert at the Foster Care Institute, talking with Foster Talk with Dr. John. If you do not get the newsletter, I want to get it to you, okay? I want to get it for you tonight. Just type in I want newsletter and put your email address. I want newsletter, put your email address. We'll make sure that you get the newsletter tonight, all the foster care news you need, all the foster care webinars, the foster care motivational moments, the foster care video tips, and a whole lot more. Hillary, hello, Hillary, welcome. Foster Talk with Dr. John. Thank you for being here tonight with us. All right, Hillary asks this. My children's adoption has been dragging on due to COVID issues. Absolutely right, Hillary. COVID is dragging it on for sure. So you're not alone. It's happening every 50 states. Now my kids who have been in foster care for 5 years won't even get an adoption hearing. The judge is just going to sign off on it. I feel this isn't fair to my kids. Adoption day is a big deal. Any suggestions for virtual adoptions and the kids feeling that they're missing on something special? Hillary, this is happening across the board. Hey, my dear friend Jen Lilly, the celebrity actress who has been hosting here, the one I went to Washington, D.C. with, she had an adoption last October. And it was virtual as well in California. Again, it's happening all across the state, Hillary. What's happening is it's unfortunate, to be sure. Hillary, you can make the adoption day special yourself. Plan a big party. Plan a big party. If you can, if it's going to be virtual, then invite all of your friends and family members to be a part of it by watching it, okay? Ask them to maybe send some cards or some gifts. Those you feel comfortable with, if you can, invite some people to have an adoption day. We've adopted 3 children from foster care, Hillary. You probably know this because you read my books, right? And we had big events. We invited everybody we knew in our area to come, and my gosh, we pack the houses every time. Maybe you could do that. Maybe you could invite some friends over for it. Make a big special, get everybody dressed up in their best Sunday clothes, so to speak. Have some balloons in the backgrounds or in the video thing, and make it as special as you can. Unfortunately, I understand what you're saying. COVID has changed everything about foster care. Some of it good, some of it not good. Hillary, I would love to be invited to it as well. So if you do have it virtual, send me an invite, please. I'd love to be a part of it. I'd love to celebrate with you, okay? Best of luck, and let us send some pictures for us, too. I'd love to see it, too. Thanks for being here, Hillary, and thank you for taking care of those kids. All right, Zanaya says, she wakes up 3 or 4 times a night asking for juice or milk. I'm trying to work on her sleeping all night. Well, Zanaya, then here's what I'm going to suggest for you to do. I'm going to encourage you to go to the Foster Care Institute, check out the webinar, Sleep Anxieties and Children in Foster Care. We talk about a lot of strategies in that webinar, Zanaya, and I think that you are a member. If I remember correctly, Zanaya, we have over 10,000 members, so I can't remember everybody. I think you're a member. Check out that webinar, Sleep Anxieties and Children in Foster Care. There's weighted blankets, there's music, there is melatonin, there's lavender, there's soft lighting, there's reading books. There's lots of strategies in that webinar, Zanaya, that you can get. I think you're going to find very, very helpful. And then do some research on your own. Do some research on your own online. But those are some suggestions I would give you right there. Hey, this is Foster Talk with Dr. John. I see a number of you in the last 20 minutes have been following me on Facebook. Hey, here's what I'm going to ask from you, please. Don't follow me on John DeGarmo page. Don't follow me on John DeGarmo because I hardly post there. Please follow me and join me in the page, Dr. John DeGarmo, Foster Care Expert. Dr. John DeGarmo, Foster Care Expert. There's somebody else right there. Just follow me. Dr. John DeGarmo, Foster Care Expert. That way, you'll be able to get all the foster care news I post several times a day, the foster care question of the week, the foster care webinar of the week, the foster care 101 video tips, the let's see, Wednesdays is Wednesday Wisdom. Thursday is the Thursday Talk, and a whole lot more. Okay, so please let us know. All right, please follow me there. Cody, hey, Cody says we use a lot of lavender in the baths and oils before bedtime with a small light and music playing. Fantastic, Cody. Zenai, I hope that helped you there. Thanks for sharing that, Cody. We give all those exact same suggestions at that webinar I just mentioned to you. Sleep anxiety. So Zenaya, check out that webinar on sleep anxieties. Okay, again, if you want the foster care newsletter, foster care news of the week, the video tips, foster care 101 tips, the webinars, everything you need to know, type in I want newsletter, put your email address, and we'll make sure you get it. Okay, hey, we have about 10 more minutes left here. 10 more minutes left here, Foster Talk with Dr. John, and I want to make sure we're able to answer your questions. Foster parenting is hard. Hey, I've done it for almost 20 years. 60 plus kids have gone through my home. Do you know how many kids I've had in my house at the same time? Do you know how many I've had at the same time? Up to 11 kids at the same time. And I'm not a group home. Yeah, I opened up a residential therapeutic home, but yeah, it's hard. Sure, it's hard. And there are times where I felt I am not getting enough sleep myself. There are times where I felt like quitting. There's times I've questioned the whole system. Yes, my goodness, every child's made me a better person in some way, and I bet it's done that same thing for you. So if foster parenting has been rewarding for you, type in amen. If foster parenting has been rewarding for you, type in amen. I'm going to do it right here, okay? Amen! Exclamation point. If foster parenting has been rewarding for you, amen. Now, again, yeah, it's hard. We know that. We know that. Hey, I'm so excited. Next Tuesday, I'm going to be presenting a live keynote for the entire state of Kansas, for all foster parents and foster carers in Kansas. If you live in the great state of Kansas, you are, Tina says amen, you are invited. Hey, Tina, you are invited. So Kansas foster parents, look for that webinar next Tuesday, and you have free access. And if you want to know more about it, go to the Kansas Support Network, okay? Okay, Cody says amen as well. And Cody also, and Selena says amen. Fantastic. Who else says amen? Who says foster parenting is rewarding? 5 more minutes here left, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing my parent talk there. I apologize. 10 more minutes, about 10 more minutes here of Foster Talk with Dr. John. What do you need help with? Cody says bedtime routine was very important for us because he wants a cup every few minutes and all night long, but it is heavy weather. And once we got the routine down, it really helped. We do an bedtime oatmeal bar, so he's full, and then a warm bath with lavender. And when he gets out, we do a lavender oil and lavender lotion. We do a song, a book, and a prayer. We're on week 2, but we are making progress. Fantastic. Cody, fantastic. Lots of great strategies there. Thank you for sharing that. You know what? We go into every one of those in that webinar, the sleep anxieties. So if you're having trouble with that, children, check out that webinar there. And Hillary says, amen. Glad you agree, Hillary. Glad you agree. Thank you for being here with us tonight, too. Hey, so again, what do you need help with right now? What's the number one thing? You're saying, Dr. John, I can't do this anymore. I'm struggling. Is it visitation? Is it related to COVID? Did you see the webinar I just did on COVID? Actually, the interview I just did on COVID. It premiered earlier this week. Again, what's the number one thing right now you're saying, I need help? Tina's here. Welcome, Tina. I don't know if I can leave my kiddos at respite. I feel bad leaving my babies. Hey, Tina, appreciate you talking about that. You know, respite, I understand. It can be a guilty feeling, but know this, Tina. Know this. Respite is so important. It's a very important part of foster care because, Tina, there are those times, Tina, where you might need respite. Maybe you're going out of the state for a wedding or a funeral. Maybe you've got to go to a doctor's appointment. Maybe you need just a weekend alone with your own children. Maybe you need time with your spouse, you need to have some date time. Maybe your own family needs to have some time together. Whatever reason it might be, respite care is a wonderful opportunity for you to recharge those batteries, to have that time that you need, to do those things you have to do that your children from foster care can't be a part of, for whatever reason it might be. And there are some wonderful respite parents. There are some people who just do respite care. So, Tina, here's my suggestion for you. Don't feel guilty about respite care. When we were actively fostering, we were using respite care maybe once a year. I know some people might use it twice a year. It's okay. Don't feel guilty about it. You'll get a break. You'll come back recharged, refreshed, rejuvenated. The children make the same thing as well. All right. So I appreciate you asking. And we have a foster care institute training webinar, I believe, on respite care. You might want to check out. Selena's here. Selena, welcome. Foster Talk with Dr. John. Screaming fits. My 2-year-old screams for no reason. Selena, that's exhausting. And if you read my book, you read my book, Fostering Love, or seen some of my videos, you know I've had the same problem over and over and over. But there is a reason. There is absolutely a reason, Selena. There could be a number of reasons. And most likely it's due to some of the trauma the child's experienced. This child is filled with anxiety. The child's 2 years of age. Okay, this child is most likely feeling a lot of emotions this child does not know how to process. He can't process or understand the emotions he's feeling, the confusion, the fear, being scared, and all the other emotions, and they're overwhelming him, and he screams. It's so normal. It's so normal, Selena, for these kids at that age. And along with that, he may have some drug-related issues as well. Selena, there's a couple webinars I would encourage you to watch here at the Foster Care Institute. Anger management, anxieties and disorders, trauma-informed parenting part 1, and positive parenting solutions. Those are 4 webinars I would encourage you to watch, Selena, and it's going to give you a little bit of insight, okay? And Tina says my 1-year-old screams and he definitely has some type of PTSD. It could be PTSD. It could be a number of anxiety-related issues. And we talk a lot about this in the book, The Foster Care Survival Guide. I got a stack right there. I'm sending out in the mail Thursday. So there could be a number of anxieties. Tina, the child's feeling. Selena, the child is feeling. All right. So again, watch those webinars, Selena. If you're not a member, join tonight. If you're not a member, why not? You need to join. All right, Casey's here. Welcome, Casey. Glad you're here. Dealing with a child with behavioral problems. You know, Casey, I really think the majority of children in foster care have some type of behavioral problem because here's the truth. They don't want to be in foster care. It's very scary. It's frightening. It's a time of anxiety being placed into foster care. So sometimes they have these issues and they're overwhelmed, I was just saying, and they may have some behavioral issues. We got a lot of webinars here about Casey, but if you're going to go into more detail, I'd love to hear about it. Bethany here. Bethany, welcome. Foster Talk with Dr. John. We've got a few more minutes here. I currently do infants, but with a huge teen need, how to prepare myself in my home for teens. Watch out the brand new webinar, Parenting Troubled Teens, right here at the Foster Care Institute. Parenting Troubled Teens. So many issues with anger, stealing, running. I'm a single mom. Also, those that are currently using, are we supposed to allow them to use in our home? You say currently using. What do you mean by that currently? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Bethany. But it can't be, there's a lot of misconceptions about parenting teens. And to be sure, parenting teens is very different than parenting younger children. They all had their own challenges. They all had their own benefits and blessings as well. But Bethany, I'm going to point you to the Foster Care Institute training webinar, Parenting Troubled Teens. It was one of our brand new ones. I think it's come out in the last 4 months here at the Foster Care Institute. If you're not a member, I'd love you to get it. All right. Okay, listen. Let's see if we can get a couple more questions in here. Selena says, perfect. Thank you. My pleasure, Selena. Thank you for being here. Zanai says, how do I deal with a child that tells mom to leave her alone? Why are you calling me and go away? She yells by all mom. She isn't her mother. I'm at a loss. There's a great webinar we have helping birth parents and foster parents working together, co-parenting, if you will. You might want to check it out. I got to go, my friends, because we're out of time. Can you believe it? We're out of time already. 30 minutes has flown by again. I love when you come here and spend time with me. I love when you come here and we have this time together. Now, before I go, if you don't get the Foster Care Institute newsletter, please type in I want newsletter, put your email address. I want newsletter, your email address. You'll get the Foster Care News of the Week, the Foster Care 101 video tips, the webinar of the week, the motivational moment, and so much more. All right, and as I said earlier, our brand new webinar just popped up. I think it's webinar number 60. We have over 60 hours of webinars for you. These are the ones that you requested, and I hope that you remember. Hey, we'll be here again Thursday night live right here, 7 to 7:30, Foster Talk with Dr. John. For the Foster Care Institute, I'm Dr. John DeGarmo. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for all that you do.